Okay, so yesterday when we started with the discussion of basic pipeline working principle, right? And then we started like that when you just divide one complete task into some different module or different unit, then on different clock pulses, how they are working parallelly. If you have more than one segment of working unit, then how one segment at a time will do in which task, then when it will transfer his unit to the next one, then after transferring of that particular unit, you will do the same task for the next unit. So this type of thing we have discussed, right? So while we were doing this thing, we also looked that when you are talking about the number of segment and number of task, how we were just dividing them, right? So we were just discussing that say you have one whole work and you have just kept three segment. How? Just the example we took from the last day, that AI multiply by BI plus CI. So we just divided this into three segment. And what we also discussed that it is not always required that you have to do always these three segments. You can change these segments also. But usually you have to keep in mind that in one segment, usually you will keep one task, right? So yesterday, based on this, we targeted like that in the first segment, we were just storing the values of A and B into register R1 and R2. Then in the second segment, we were just multiplying between register R1 and R2, and we were just taking another variable C into some other variable R4. Then in the last segment, we were just performing the addition task of the first multiplication part and the third variable part, right? And we also check that when you started this work, some clock pulses, you were just being started to get the result, right? So all these things we have already discussed yesterday, last day. So that means when we will start from actual that point, just where we stopped on the last day. What was that actually? Now see if you start again from the pipeline discussion, we can see that we were just trying the space-time diagram, right? And what you observed that here you were giving the clock pulses. It was just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It was just continuing like this, and you were just put your segment into that direction. So it is segment 1, segment 2, segment 3, and you were just calculating the task, right? So your first task completed, then first task started, then segment 1 started the second task parallelly. Segment 2 has been transferred with the first task. Then it is started the next task, it is transferred the second task. Here the first task was coming. So like this it was continuing, right? So it is too much more thing will be repeated late. So I am just taking these three. So you observe that if you think about the first task, then we took how much time. Now you don't know that this clock pulse is actually duration of how much time. So we will use the term like uh, t unit of time, like this. We will not use any second or millisecond type of word. We will just use the t unit of time. Okay, so that means the first clock pulse has t unit of time, second clock pulse will have t unit of time. Now again some confusion may be arise because last day when we were discussing, I also observed that you were thinking that from this one to this one is one duration, from this one to this one is one duration, but it is not like that actually, because we are just writing the pulse number here. Okay, and if you want to write the pulses here regarding the in reference to the duration type of representation, so how we will write them? We will write it like this way, say you can write like this one. Okay, then no, I have done it wrong. So you can done it right like this. Okay, like this you can continue. So that means if you think now that for the first clock pulse, and I am talking about that first clock pulse has t unit of time. Okay, so whenever you will pass the first clock pulse has been started from here and has been ended on here. So what should be the total duration? It is t. Second one has been started from here, has been ended on here. So second unit again t. Third unit started from here, ended on here. So again third unit has t. So now you can see that it will take t plus t plus t, 3t amount of time. I hope now you understood. Because we are not thinking only the difference between first clock pulse and second clock pulse. Okay, so here if you write t, then it may again create confusion because I am just talking about the clock pulse numbers here. First clock pulse, second clock pulse, third clock pulse, like this it will be continued. Okay, so you can keep the number here, like for this duration to this duration it is t, for this duration to this duration it is t, for this duration to this duration it is again t. So like this you can continue the calculation. Okay, so here to here, here to here, like this. Okay, so now if you think just when we stopped yesterday, you have some number of tasks, you have some number of segments, you have some number of clock pulses. Okay, so when we will just end or when we will just start, that duration should be calculated. How? Think about that you have how many tasks. Say you have only 4 tasks. So I am just taking one example. So say you have total 4 tasks. So that means you will continue from here, it will end on here, right? Then it will be continued like this, T3, T4, and here it will be T1, T2, T3, and T4. So now if anyone is asking the total, how many time you are using to complete all the 4 tasks when your task number is 4 and your segment number is 3. So without going to any calculation or without thinking too much, you can just see it that what is happening. Your one clock pulse has duration of t amount of time. You are using total 6 pulses to complete 4 number of tasks. So what should be the total duration? Total duration is very easily you can write that 60 amount of time you are using, right, to complete how many tasks? 4 tasks. Okay, and how many segment you are using? You are using 3 segments, right? So now how you are calculating that 60 amount of time you are using? That is one important point. Okay, here you can easily write the space-time diagram, you can easily calculate, no problem. But how you will calculate the same when you have 1000 number of tasks? It is not possible to draw the 1000 number of duration or 1000 number of tasks one by one, T1 to T1000, then again T1 to T1000. It is not possible, right? So how you will calculate at that time? So think that from this small example, you just take it and think what was the time? That question I asked yesterday also, that what is the total duration to complete task T1? What is the total duration to complete task T1 from the starting of your clock pulse? What should be the answer? It is T plus T plus T. So total 3T amount of time you are using to complete task T1. Now think from the overall perspective of your system, right? You are using total 3T amount of time to complete the task T1. Now go to the next one. Think about task T2. Think about task T2. So you will say again that yes, again I am using total 3T amount of time to complete task T2. Absolutely right. You are starting task T2 from here. You are ending task T2 on here. So it is also 3T amount of time. But from this 3T amount of time, already 2T amount of time you have counted here. Think it very minutely and try to grab the whole concept completely clearly. Okay, you are using 3T amount of time to complete task T2 also. That is very much true. But from this 3T, 2T amount of duration you have already utilized in T1. So that means in this 3T, for the last two segment, just like this duration and this duration, you were also engaged to start the task T2, to continue the task T2, to start the task T3, like this. So I am talking about from the perspective of whole system, right? So that means how many more time you are utilizing to complete the task T2. How much more? It is T amount of time, right? So from here to here, it is duration of T. Similarly, from here to here, it is duration of T. And from here to here, it is duration of T again. So it is T plus T plus T. That means 3T again. And initially I had 3T. So total duration is 3T plus 3T. That is 60 amount of time you are using. Right? And how you are getting this 60? How you are getting this 60? Think about the first one. Okay, so for the first task, you are using 3T, and for the next three, that means this one, and this one. How much time you are utilizing? Just multiply by T. That means if you have total 4 number of tasks, for the first one, you are utilizing 3T amount of duration. For the rest 3, that means 4 minus 1. For this much amount of task, you are just utilizing this much amount into T, amount of time. So that is again 3T. So total is 60. So now if you just represent it generally or in a common format, how you will represent? Say you have total n number of tasks. Right? So say for the first task, how many time you will utilize? How much time you will utilize? It depends on how many segment you are using, right? So here I used 3 segment. That is why you are using 3T amount of duration. If it is 4 segment, then it will be completed on this point. If it is 5 segment, it will be completed on this point. So that means how much segment is there? It depends on that to complete the first task. So say you have n number of tasks and k number of segment. So that means for the first task, you need KTP amount of time. And for the rest of the task, that means n-1, you will use n-1 multiplied by TP duration. So for a pipeline unit, total duration coming as KTP plus n-1 TP, and it should be K plus n-1 into TP. So there is one consideration on this calculation. What was the consideration? You are considering that you are using the clock pulses of equal duration. The ideal case. Every clock pulses has equal duration of t. Then only you can write it like this way. So here in suffix I have used p for pipeline unit. Okay, so it is for the equal duration clock pulse. These considerations has been made. Okay, so my request to you all that this thing may create confusion in your mind. What I just taught. Okay, so just think it. If any confusions are coming in your mind, then you can ask. Which of the what should we think more and more time? Think about. I just gave the example you that three segment. Three segment means say you can distribute yourself as a segments, right? So you can think about that. Let's say the first three students' name I am seeing, Mayank, Shaurya, and Tushar. So these three students are three segment, right? Then you have divided some task into 4 sections, or you have distributed one whole work into 3 or 4 tasks. So that means Mayank will start it. The first unit he has completed. First, I have said that I will count the clock pulses. So I have counted that this is your first time, or this is your first clock pulse. Then Mayank will start his work, right? So Mayank has completed his work for the first unit. Next, I am calling that now it is your second unit of time. So on the second unit of time, Mayank will pass this first completed task to Shaurya. And as Mayank is free now, so Mayank will start the second unit. So on the second clock pulse, Shaurya will start his work with the first unit, right? Right now I am in second clock pulse. So second clock pulse completed. Now I am in third clock pulse, right? So on the third clock pulse, Shaurya will complete his turn, his part of work, and it will be passed to Tushar, right? So Tushar will use some time to complete it again. At the same time, Mayank has already completed the second unit of task and he has passed it to Shaurya, and Mayank has started with the third unit of work, right? So that means if you think now, after the third unit, right, or after the third clock pulses, the first unit of task has been completed by Tushar. So what was the total time to complete the first task? First T, second T, third T. So 3T amount of duration you all have used to complete the first task. Now, if you think about the second duration or third duration, think that on the second duration, you have started second unit of work, right? But that is already counted in the 3T amount of duration. That is my. So if you are talking about that every task should use 3T amount of time or whatever maybe that much segment is there, that much segment amount of time, it is completely true. But those times are already has been calculated inside the first unit of task. That is why you will not count it separately. Okay, so that is why when you are thinking about that, you have all the tasks, that means some more number of work in your hand, and you have some segment, just like here we are giving the example like Mayank, Shaurya and Tushar, 3 segments are there. So any kind of work you will give them. That means too much long work you will give them with some module part. Whenever you will just think that how many duration are they using to complete the first task, it will be always 3T amount of time. Because Mayank will use T amount of time, Shaurya will use T amount of time, and Tushar will use T amount of time. The first task will be taken by 3T amount of time. And second task onward, it will be taken extra T amount of duration. Right? So these are all with the consideration of this point that they are using all the equal amount of duration. That means Mayank is also using T amount of time, Shaurya is also using T amount of time, and Tushar is also using T amount of time. So we are keeping the considerations as that we are using equal time distribution. But that is not the ideal case. Quite normal, because too much amount of time maintaining is also not possible. You may have different tasks in your hand, right? The student who is writing the coding part of the project, obviously he may need more time to complete the coding part, or who is only using the data collection part, or maybe he has collected the complete data set or standard data set, and all the preemption process, that means the what I can say, the pre-analysis part, actually data set part, that task is already done in the data set. So he will not take too much time to ready the data set, right? So, and those who will take responsibility to write the report, okay, or he is taking the responsibility that yes, after completion of this work I will communicate the paper, then he may need much more time to complete the whole documentation part as a proper writing format. So this is the ideal case, that not every time every segment will use the same amount of duration, but that will come later. That uneven duration we will come later. Right now we are considering only equal distribution of time. Okay. So again, if you are moving towards this part, towards this calculation part, till now what we have observed, that you may have a total n number of tasks, a total k number of segment. Then in that case, if a single clock pulse is using TP amount of duration, then total k plus n minus 1 into TP amount of duration will be utilized for a pipeline unit to complete n number of tasks. Okay. Now going to the next. What should be the other unit of time like this? So if the same thing you are considering and that task will be what I can say, will be done by a non-pipeline unit, right? So think about previously we take this consideration that you are using n number of tasks, and for a pipeline unit there was k number of segment. Now you are thinking similarly that you have n number of tasks and you are using a non-pipelined unit. Right? Non-pipelined unit. So that means there is no concept of segment. Only one segment is there. Only one person is there. Say for example, from our student batch, we were taking previously the example of that Mayank, Shaurya and Tushar. So now Shaurya and Tushar is not there. Mayank is only alone. Sole warrior. Okay. So now he will start working. So he will say that yes, I can complete the whole work by myself. No problem. How he will complete then? So right now he will act as a non-pipeline unit because he is alone. So he has to take one work, he has to complete work, he has to start the next work. Simply. So he will complete all the n number of tasks by his alone. That means for one task, if he is taking Tn amount of time, so to complete n task, he will take Tn amount of time. I hope no problem. So for a pipeline unit, it was k plus n minus 1 into Tp. For a non-pipeline unit, it is Tn amount of duration. Right? So now how you will measure the speed up ratio? That is very much important part in reference to your exam question, in reference to your quiz questions everywhere. We will provide you all the data. You will be asked to calculate the speed up ratio. Okay, so how you will calculate the speed up ratio? It will be calculated as a ratio of the time taken for a non-pipelined unit by the time taken for a pipelined unit. So these n is actually suffix n, okay? So it is not, it should not be confused. Is actually suffix n. So I should write it in much smaller font. This one. Okay, this one. This is suffix n. So this n for non-pipelined unit and this n is equals to your number of tasks. Here also number of tasks and p for time taken for a pipelined unit. So this is the speed up ratio calculation. Okay, it is Ntn by k plus n minus 1 Tp. So this is a standard logic. So you may face different problems with this particular thing. You may be asked to calculate the speed up ratio. You may be given all the data like time taken to complete in a non-pipelined unit, time taken to complete in a pipelined unit, where this much amount of task has been given, this much amount of segment has given. So you just need to put them in formula. You can get this. And as it is online mode, so I will not give you this type of question that you have to establish the speed up ratio. This is a common question for in offline system. Different time, there may be 4 marks and you may be asked to establish the speed up ratio logic. This is a common question for offline exam. But as you are in online mode, so this type of lengthy question is not possible, or whenever you will answer them, it is difficult to judge, right? So that is why this type of thing will not be given in online mode, but numerical problem definitely will be come from these logics. Okay. So further calculation you can do from this overall description. So first mark it. Now get up the further discussion. Think about you are using too much number of tasks and you have less number of segment. What I'm talking about? Say you are trying to complete 10,000 of work and you are using in a pipeline unit only 4 segments. Right? So whenever you are considering the speed up ratio S is equals to NTN by K plus N minus 1 into TP. How you can change this formula actually? So it should be 10,000 Tn by 10,000 plus 4 minus 1. Right? This much amount of TP. So you can easily see that this data 10,000 by 10,003 is almost equivalent to 1. If you divide it 10,000 by 10,003, it will result nearly 9.99 something. This type of data you will get. Okay, so how much? We can write it also. Just check that how much data you will get when you will calculate this 10,000 by 10,003. Right? So we can get like 10,000 divided by 10,003. So answer is 0.9997. Right? So that means it is actually 0.9997. So it is almost equivalent to 1. Everyone agree? So that means you can take this consideration that if your number of tasks is very greater than your number of segment, right? Number of tasks is very greater than your number of segment. At that time, your speed up ratio nearly equals to Tn by Tp. Anyone has any doubt on this? So whenever you will follow the numerical problems, usually number of tasks, number of segment, everything has been given. Sometimes to confuse you, the questions can be prepared in this format. One language will be used in that question, that there is a long pipeline system where number of tasks is too much. Up to this only you will be used. The number of tasks will be is too much. Then you will be asked like this, what will be the speed up ratio when you are using only 2 or 3 segments? So that is actually being tried to confuse you without giving you the number of tasks. But this thing has been mentioned that number of tasks is too much. That means this logic is there. So if this type of thing has been mentioned in the problem, no need to take all this calculation 1000 plus 1000, that means n by k plus n minus 1. No need to do all this thing. Only take Tn only take TP, divide them, you will get your result. But again, I am talking about this is not a general condition. This is a special case when any this type of specific mention is there. It may be very greater than K. It may be no mention of the number of segment. It may be only the mention of number of tasks. So this type of general specific cases. But in general, if you have all the data in your hand, just like think about you have been provided number of tasks, you have been provided number of segment. So every data is with you ready. Then you will definitely not go for the this kind of calculation. You will do the standard calculation like this. Okay, so this was the speed up ratio calculation for a pipeline unit and non-pipeline unit. Speed up ratio. But again, some considerations. So with the considerations are involved with this logic that you are using the equal amount of time duration for the clock pulses. So that means in this TP, there is actually some number of segments times are associated. So all of them we have considered as a equal one, and we have just added, right? So like this, it has been managed. So now you can go with the next logics or next thing. So next part is the arithmetic pipeline calculation, that how you will calculate this arithmetic pipeline operation, or once you are trying to do any arithmetic operations, then how you will manage them in a pipeline format. Then we will read the pipeline speed up. I am talking about actually this pipeline hazard. Sorry, my bad. It is not speed up. Speed up we have already covered today. So then it may be covered the pipeline hazard. So in hazard we have to see what are the particular back-to-back steps for any instructions, and how the hazard can create some problems. So whenever you will start this pipeline discussion, first thing you have read that how this pipeline unit can help you to continue more than one module of task at the same time, right? Then you will check that how different duration you will work at the same time, and how you are trying to utilize all of your segments, right? And then you are talking about that how your speed up ratio is being calculated. That when you are using a time of non-pipeline unit, and when you are using a time of pipeline unit, then how your speed up ratio is being changed, or how your speed up ratio is being calculated. So all this thing. Okay, so up to this, it was the discussion that how you will manage the speed up ratio. Next thing we will try to start the instruction pipeline, the steps of the instructions, then arithmetic pipeline, and then we will move into the hazard part gradually. Okay, so you can just think a little bit that how this speed up has been calculated. You can ask something. Achha, one thing. Tell me one thing. If you are now being provided the data of this TN and TP only, no other data has been provided. Only this question has been given that if a non-pipelined unit is using this much amount of time to complete this task, and if a pipelined unit is using this much amount of time to complete this task, then what should be the speed up ratio? What you will do? You will not go for any other calculation. You don't have any other data. So you will just divide this data, TN by TP. You will have your result. Okay. So I will stop here today. Next day we will start from that arithmetic pipeline, instruction pipeline, and if time will be there, then we will move to pipeline hazard. So next day means it will be Thursday, right?